Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here, and I've got a huge report that I want to share with you, and it's very simply this. What is going on in the economy? We know we just hit January 2018. We're starting off a brand new year. A lot of things have been happening so far, and here we are just, 3 or 4 days in. I thought the best thing to do was also to bring in noblegoldinvestment.com CEO or head honcho there, Charles Thorngrid, because I wanted to bring him on and get him talking about what we probably can see for 2018. What does he predict? What will happen with gold, silver, precious metal, these kinds of things, and then also why Wall Street is running scared this year. So with that, Charles, are you with me over there?
I'm here.
All right, so let me start off with the big question. I know you've been right in the past, but what exactly do you see on this year's agenda? What's going to happen with the economy, number one? What's going to happen since you are personally into gold, metal, precious silvers, that kind of thing at your noblegoldinvestments.com? Tell us a little bit about all of that. What is 2018? What does it hold?
2018 is going to be an interesting year. We have the president making some positive differences in the economy, which is a great thing. The issue we have as a precious metals firm is that we have a Dow that's today just broke an all-time high, 25,000 on the Dow, which is, to understand what the Dow is, it's a compilation of the biggest stocks on Wall Street, okay? So we look at that and say that sounds great, but the problem is that the Dow has now gone up for 10 years without an effective pullback. That's far too long. It normally has at least 5 to 10% corrections every 7 years or so. And the longer you go, the bigger the next correction gets. That brings us to, instead of a 5%, maybe we have a 15 or 20% correction, okay? And that's just the way finance works because there's such exuberance in this market. And we heard that before in 2007, irrational exuberance. We're following that same guideline, and it's unfortunate because that's where our money's at. Your retirement accounts, most of them are there. So, and this is why we promote metals, because it's an alternative to that. You diversify, and your gold and your silver will offset those kind of big swings. It's more stable. It's meant for a long-term security investment. It's a safety investment. So that's one of the things we see. I think there's the big chance we see a pullback in Wall Street. And again, the good part of that is that the economy is getting better. There are changes being made that are going to benefit the United States. And with our leadership, benefits that will benefit every person, not just corporations. That's an important part of the process, too. You know, it has to affect everyone.
Yeah. Well, where do you see the economy headed this year?
I think that the biggest issue I have with the economy, I think we're going to see positive growth. Okay, these things do take time. So the longer into this election we go, the better the growth we'll see. Economics is not a fast-moving machine. It's a very slow-moving machine. Everything has to work together, and it takes time to see benefit. So we'll see some additional growth in the GDP. I think we'll see some strong job numbers again. We did today. So we'll see some additional hiring. Where I'm concerned is that we have all the past growth, fabricated growth. We'll term it correctly. The fabricated growth of the last administration over those 8 years has to be paid for. It's never been paid for. We have that massive debt that we're now adding to with the new tax bill. It's important because we need that to grow, but we also have that debt that's never been reconciled, and that's going to be a big issue. Because until we pay the bill for that $8 trillion that was pumped into the system, we're building on a very shaky foundation. So that's what you'll see this year as well. You'll see talks of the Federal Reserve pulling some of that money back out that they put into their coffers, all that debt. That's going to create a lot of tension on Wall Street because that money's going to come out without rhyme or reason. And it's going to cause big waves. It's going to cause shock to traders. And we're already seeing some big investors begin to move out and get diversified because they know this is coming.
And when you say diversified, you mean just put their money in all kind of different avenues, right?
We're seeing, interestingly enough, we're seeing, it used to be that you would see precious metals in real estate. We're seeing now it's cryptocurrencies and precious metals. Real estate, not so much because of some of the changes to the tax bill. There's some very effective tax write-offs investors would get that they're going to lose with this new tax bill. So we're seeing big pushes into metals and to cryptocurrencies.
Okay, now I know we kind of had a little bit off the camera discussion, but what is there, because people have asked, is there any impacts on gold, silver, precious metals, those things that you directly sell and deal with in regards to Bitcoin and what Bitcoin is doing? Are they impacting or affecting each other?
You know, it's interesting. People make the assumption, but not really. You know, the metals market and the cryptocurrency market is nowhere near as large as the financial market on Wall Street. They're both fractions of that. So there actually is a lot of room. I know there's been talk, oh, they're going to compete. Actually, they're not. And curiously enough, if you look at both of those investments, they're very similar. I know they may not feel like it. You've got this electronic, you know, who knows what it is floating around here. Most people don't understand. And you've got gold and silver, and everyone knows that. It's been around for 5,000 years. But they're very similar. Other than the tangibility of it, they both say the same thing. I don't trust banks. I don't trust the government. I don't feel good about what's going on. They're very similar. The difference I see is the generation that buys them.
Absolutely. And I have to agree there because look, we don't trust at least I know, you know, a lot of the up and coming generation, even the generation above me. I mean, I think we're all on that vein of there is so much not to trust. Here's my say hi, little Deeds. He's on a happy day today. He keeps licking my fingers. But yeah, so here's the thing. All generations, we're losing faith and trust in the government entities simply because, you know, when Obama got into office, he quadrupled, you know, trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. This is not, I mean, all of us are nowhere near what they are in debt. And there's many people I know who have been able to pay off big chunks of their debt. So these are things that put a lot of non-trust into our government leaders who we, you know, got up and put into those positions because we thought they would get our economy stable. And it seems like with each generation they get worse. And finally we're making some headway with President Trump. And of course, because of that reason, he gets a lot of backlash. Why? Because he's bringing life back to America, and they don't want life. They want to take down America. They want to take it down and bring it into this global system, which is the whole purpose of the UN, model UN and United Nations in all 50 states. But that's why I am such a big pusher of, you know, like your gold and silver. Here I have, you know, my silver here. People can see it kind of less the light, right? My gold, I've got gold here, and that's not all of it, obviously, but in a very safe area. But I encourage everyone, get gold and silver, get invested outside of big government where the dollar isn't stable. It can hit inflation. It can hit deflation. Do you see it headed in either of those directions?
You know, I see us moving into a very inflationary period. We've been without inflation for a very long period of time. And not to drone on a little bit about it, but, you know, Janet Yellen, the former chair, as she steps down now, she came out and said the Fed does not understand the way inflation's working right now. It's beyond their models. They don't understand. It's not following a normal S curve. These are scary things because our entire economy is based on the assumption that we can control inflation. So for them to come out and say, we don't know what it's doing. We don't know how to choose a correct model to help fight it. This makes me worry because these are supposed to be the people who understand. They created this entire system, and now they're telling me they don't understand how it's working. That's very worrisome for me. And that usually leads me to believe there's a period of not just inflation, but quite possibly hyperinflation coming.
And that is a scary thought to me. And I know she's been on edge about some things. And, you know, we have the Federal Reserve, the IMF, you know, all these different entities trying to pull things and different strings. And again, that's again why I bring you on to talk about these things, because these are things that kind of get pushed under a rug. Yes, we see improvements in the economy, but that doesn't mean that the Band-Aid's all better and everything's fixed and it's all, we're headed in a right direction. And whether we're going in a good or bad direction, things can flip like they did in 2007, 2008. Nobody got a warning. Nobody was told, unless you were looking. I know you guys had your own heads up. You were looking at the signs, reading what was going on. And that's why I love you. And that's why I love what you do, is we can assess and hope for the best and look at the signs ahead and then make preparations and plans. And my goal and my heart is that let's have patriots that make a ton of money, and have them at the head of the barrel so we can help political candidates. We can, help our family members, but get into that stable place where we can have and make America great again, to quote Donald Trump. So yes. That's all a plus. So with that, do you have any closing thoughts? I know Wall Street's running scared this year. There's a lot underway for the reasons that you spoke about, but do you have any concluding thoughts? And then share the information for your Noble Gold, how they can get it, the phone number as well.
Yeah, I would say it's the beginning of a new year. Take a couple minutes and let's look and see where you're planning on going this year. I always like to do that. I look, we have a new year. We're ending 2017, we're starting 2018. I'm a planner kind of guy, so I like to sit down and say, where am I going this year? And I advise people to do the same thing for their finances as well. Say, where do I want to be this year? And take a few minutes and say, here's what I have, here's my portfolio. What do I want to accomplish with it? And a lot of times when you do that, you put yourself in the mindset to say, hey, let me see what my options are. And, I advise to give us a call. If you think precious metals could be part of your portfolio, it should be. It should be part of everyone's portfolio. So if you don't have it, give us a call and see if this makes sense. I got a great team here. They're not pushy people. They will talk with you. They'll answer questions and give you the information that you need to see if this is right for you. So start the year out right. Make a plan and say, hey, what am I doing with my finances and how do I make them possibly better? So that's what I would advise. You visit us on our website, noblegoldinvestments.com. Give us a call, 877-596-7916. But more importantly, at least spend a few minutes looking at your finances. Whether you call us or not, that's an important thing because you put them in the front of your mind. Life gets busy and sometimes we forget things, and it's so easy with those retirement accounts. It's just been sitting there and it's sitting there and you let it go. That's your retirement. It should be to the front of your mind, not to the back of your mind. Spend a few minutes, give us a call.
Absolutely. And I'll leave all the information and links below for you guys to check that out, and the numbers on the screen obviously as well. So with that, give them a call, let them know what's going on, and just make sure you're in a solid place. Whether you do that with gold, precious metals, or something else, just make sure you're starting your new year off right, because we don't know what the future holds. Well, thanks again for tuning into my channel here. I'm Lisa Haven, and this is Charles Thorngrid with NobleGoldInvestments.com signing out.